Good evening. Welcome to the Diablo 3 podcast. We are online at diabloii.net. I am your glorious and occasionally Diablo 3 playing host, Flux. I am joined on the show tonight by Aahz.
Hola.
And by CaptGoldfish.
Ahoy.
Coming from a tank in the bottom of the sea.
Correct.
And it is Sunday, season... Is this 7? God, I don't even remember now. It is 7, right?
Yes.
Season 7 has been underway for, 50 hours, almost exactly. And we've all hit GR 750 by now, and I think about Paragon 1400, so that should be a fun conversational point. Talk about what we've been up to this weekend and some of the play stuff, how it's varied this patch, what class you're playing, and why you're not playing UE because that's only for bad people, like Leviathan, where I make fun of Leviathan. He plays like 1,000 hours already. Did you get any pop-ups from Aahz? Is he at GR 80 yet?
I haven't seen 80. I think he did a 65 with his Demon Hunter to get ranked number 1.
Next. Okay, so
that was last night, though.
Later. Yeah, I'm sure he's hit at least 80 by now. But anyway, or else one of his bots has, right? One of the two.
He doesn't bot.
Okay, so how was your... I've heard a little bit about you, Aahz. We'll get to you in a second. But how's your weekend been, Captain Goldfish? You said your family left you and you were all alone and you're playing Diablo 3 to soothe your pain?
Correct. It turned out pretty good because they had to go to an event and they didn't get back till today. They left Friday afternoon. So I was left by myself to play as much season as I wanted to. And it was...
So when you say left, do you mean you duct tape them inside a closet or they actually have their own free will?
No, they left of their own free will. It was not even planned. It just happened to work out. And I played... For me, it was very late. Played till about 2 in the morning. And...
What time zone are you in?
I am in Central Time. But it's really...
So you started at what? You started at what, 7 p.m.?
Yes, we started at 7. I finished up at 2:30, which is...
So what did you do in your... Yeah, so what was your 5 hours of progress? Boom, boom?
It was pretty good. Well, the one thing is, you had to do the 4 chapters to get your sets, and I did the first 2, got the 4-piece, and then gambled the rest of the set in... I think 6 tries. I got 2 more pieces, and so I was able to go straight to basically carrying my group through all the journey that we had to go through. So that worked out pretty good. And then, I just kept grinding from there.
What's your progress to this point? How much did you play a ton on Saturday and Sunday also?
Well, yeah, things went, so I stayed up late. Then, of course, I got up really early because I always get up early. I played for a while, and then, unfortunately, this morning, I died. My wizard died. So yeah, I had to start back over. So I started back over, and I'm pretty much to where I was before because my gear wasn't all that great. But I basically progressed to Greater Earth 55 and probably Paragon 390. So
and hardcore, obviously. So it actually counts.
Yes, hardcore. And
so that'd be like GR 700 in softcore is the equivalent, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the first night was the biggest push that I've done in a season. I've never pushed that hard and so fast. And, I went to bed with probably like number 4 on the ladder and just thinking I was doing pretty good. But I finally got
there was your first mistake, you realize, right? Going to bed.
Yeah, well, I didn't do it for long because I usually get up around 5:30 to 6 o'clock for work. And so even on the weekends, it's usually about the same. So I wasn't able to sleep in too late. But yeah, I hit this season really hard, and it's really not a good lifestyle. It can't be sustained. So it was fun, but at the same time, it's almost better that I have things that keep me from doing that too much. Because my hand started to hurt, just sitting there so long. I'm not used to doing that. It's a weird feeling to be stationary for that long.
Well, if you're not like 20 years old or 14 years old or something. Yes.
Yeah, I also realize that I'm old. I'm older, and that's not. When I was when I was younger, I would be playing Tetris on Nintendo for that long, or maybe Legend of Zelda, but I could do it then, and now I can't.
Yeah, if they'd had Diablo 3 seasons when I was like 15, I'd be like Paragon 2500 every season. I mean, I used to play insane amounts of Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, and those were like boring. Like, this is the same thing 100 million times, you know?
Yeah,
Even more so than now.
Definitely. But I played...
Having like a job and a life and like bills to pay and stuff makes it kind of a different thing.
Yeah, and I'm playing a wizard this season, which is completely different than the wizard of last season. Somewhat, they totally redid a couple of the builds, so... But I'm really happy with what I've come up with. I've come up with a little bit different than the main wizard build, and I think I'm enjoying it a lot more than what other people are doing. Which other people are using the same build as last season, but it just works a little bit differently. It's more clunky and less fun, so I changed it up so it's more fun what I wanted to play, and it still seems pretty strong.
Does that mean
as long as you're not playing a
Firebirds?
UE Demon Hunter, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm using Firebirds and Vires set together. So instead of what they changed it so you have to use 3 skills to start the burn to get your Firebird buff. And so people are just starting the burn out of Archon, hitting Archon, and then everything blows up. But then while you're in Archon, you can't start things to burn. It doesn't feel very satisfying to me. So I went with the Virus, so all my damage comes when I'm in Archon, and I can do all my fire damage with that skill. So it's fun. I did before the season started, but the patch hit. I was testing it out, and I was doing 76, which isn't super high, but I was doing it in well under 10 minutes, and that was just using kind of what I consider the brute force method, where you're not really doing any strategy. You're just going straight through the riff and hitting stuff as they come, and you're not scanning for anything. So with a little bit of strategy, you can get that down and go much higher. It works pretty good. Unless you're brand new to the season and you try a 55 Greater Rift and have a squadron of wasps come in and shoot the little bees at you for way too much. So that's what did my guy in.
Were you able to get a backup set so you can go right back in, basically?
I was missing a little bit of stuff, but it didn't take me too long. I got most of it back. And the stuff that I lost really wasn't, nothing I got was anything to be too upset about. So I'm back now. I just have to level up the gens, which is going really fast too, because it's just a really fast season for me.
So how's your season going, Aahz? You described on a recent podcast you played a different class the first 6 seasons, and you found that it was a barbarian all season 6.
Correct.
And you said, I'm not sure about anything for next season, but I do know I'll play barbarian next in season 12.
Yeah,
so you had your choice of 5 classes that are actually fun to play, and you chose the Demon Hunter UE because it's the fastest, easiest build ever, and you're a dumb person.
No, like I told you, it was the illusion of choice. I just went back to the Witch Doctor because that's what I played in Season 1. So I'll just repeat the same order as I did. That way I think less. That's better.
So who's your Season 8 character going to be then?
Wizard.
And you're doomed to this. You cannot change it.
I don't see any reason to. Because if I change, then I have to actually make a decision on what to play. Whereas if I repeat the same order, then it's just already decided for me. Isn't that better?
But if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. Apparently you do know your history and you're still bound to repeat it.
History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme.
Apparently yours does. So you're playing a Witch Doctor, and
That's correct.
I played briefly with you. You were a little... You got home very late Friday. I got home... I was at work till 6:30 Friday, but I got home and did a little bit of playing. And I was like level, 12 or something, barely starting, and you got on. You were like, I had to work. I'm late. And then the next day, since of course I had to work Saturday and Sunday, as I always do every week. My last day off, by the way, was 3 weeks ago Sunday, so life is fun lately. But you had zoomed ahead of me, and I parasited off you briefly to get from like 64 to 70, and then I had to go do other things. And you zoomed ahead, and now you're like GR 70, correct?
I cleared a 37 before the podcast, which would put me at rank 666 on the Witch Doctor leaderboard, which I was quite proud of.
And then I promptly said if you hadn't let that one fall and get res, you'd have been in the top 5. And did you even get that joke?
I did not, actually. Over my head.
Do you remember the Easter egg in the Den of Evil in Diablo 2? It would show you how many enemies you had left to kill, and if you got to below 5, and if you got below 5 and one of the fallen shaman resurrected one, it would say enemies left 666.
Oh.
Swing.
Nice.
See, all my jokes are good if you understand the 47 layers of subtext to go around them. So anyway, you're Demon Huntering. You played Demon Hunter in, what was Season 2 anyway, like 2 years ago?
I was Demon Hunter in Season 5.
You played a Witch Doctor, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, Witch Doctor was season 1. I did the Jade Harvester build. That was before.
So now you're playing something new and exciting. Was it what you hoped it would be?
Helltooth Gargantuan.
I don't know what that means. What does that actually mean? Gargantuan's that big fat guy that walks around with you?
Well, until you get the ring. I've been lucky enough to find the ring, so it's 3 little Gargantuans. Little
Is that a contradiction in terms?
It certainly is. And
is that like Jumbo Shrimp?
Helltooth is the Hadrig's Gift set for the Witch Doctor this season, so I was able to get... I've got 2 of the 3 done, and like Goldfish, I was able to gamble the other 2 pieces, so I got a 6-piece set, but I also I found a Ring of Royal Grandeur out of a Act 4 bag of all things, so I've got that too if I can find the Mask of Jerem.
And you'll be GR 73 instead of 37.
Maybe 50. Incoming damage is still an issue. I don't want to push too much higher than that. I'm not going to go for broke.
You're playing hardcore, yes?
Yes. I'm not going to go for broke.
For our listeners at home who might be filthy casuals and not realize it. You're hardcore, and it makes you better than other people.
Spirit Vessel went on the bar as soon as I hit level 30. It hasn't moved since.
Have you had any interesting party games? How did you get to 60 quickly? Did you play with 4 people, or what was your strategy?
I played in a group until about level 44 the first night, and then when I got back on, most of my group was already, 70 and playing and Torment and such. So I just joined public rifts, did rifts to on hard level to get to 70.
Pubbies?
Yeah.
Aren't they full of filthy casuals, though?
They are, but it's 4 people, so you get the strength in numbers bonus. There was only
stand by the stairs in the rift and just watch your levels go up?
I didn't really see anybody doing that. One game did break up because one guy went and started doing bounties for some reason, but pretty much it went fine. People will stay together and just were working on leveling.
Did you rift for leveling or bounties or what?
Yeah,
rift.
Nephilim rifts. Yep.
Is that how you level up as well, Goldfish? Did you 4-player party and rift?
Yeah, we did the standard. I did with my the normal friends that I play with a lot. You'd go in, you grab your follower's weapon. We did a couple of halls, Act 1, and then we jumped into rifts and went rifts all the way to the end. Now, I've seen that a lot of witch doctors have done the solo leveling by themselves in the Fields of Misery, getting the massacre bonuses, and I think it's one of the quickest ways you can do it.
I tried that for a game. I'm not very good at it, so I just went and did the rifts.
Yeah, well, that's for me, I personally like playing. That's one of the more fun parts of the season is that first bit of leveling with your friends. Getting weapons where it's like, oh, this will give you 150% more damage than you had last time, before you with your last weapon, and it's just fun to go through, and just the pace is slow. I like that old style of play. It does feel like it seems like I wish they was, and that's why I'm a little bit excited about T13, at least for a while. It can be something that's a little bit more rewarding, but not necessarily going so fast you don't even see what blew up. You might have to roll a little bit slower, which is this early part season is the most fun for me.
And that lasts for a whole weekend too.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that with T13 that goal is going to go a little bit longer. I would rather go into T13 even if it's not as efficient as like T10, just for the fun of slowing down, it being a little bit more like, oh, I have to use some skills to shoot these things. I can't just blast and run as fast as you can to the next one, which eventually will kind of happen. But I like that it might prolong this goal, because once T10 farm becomes too easy, it becomes just a chore to get your keys to do crafts. It's a great
I agree with that. Definitely ran into that the last 2 seasons.
So now that this is going to be, a 60 greater riff was not, inconsequential, and especially with some of the nerfs, it'll be enjoyable. I think you have to work a little bit better if you want to speed that thing. You can't just fly off. At least in hardcore, and with my group of friends, we would need a little bit more of a, hey, let's stick together, let's not go nuts, because somebody could die. So I'm really looking forward to that. I like that change.
So no split farming T13 bounties yet?
No, not yet. I've been knocked back down to, I'm speed running right now to get my gems back up. I'm doing, I think 34s, just because I'm empowering them and trying to save some cash, and they're going at 3 or 4 minutes. It's taken me, and I can really just zoom through T8 right now, and I can probably be good for T10. But yeah, I think at this time, lesson learned. Maybe just hold back a little bit until I get all my gear before I start hitting.
There's a big reduction in empowered rift costs, right? That's one of the quality of life changes.
They're also lowering. I don't know how much they lowered, but I think they're lowering some of the gold rewards as well. But it feels pretty good right now. If you're running low on gold, you can just do some, I think you throw in a boon of the hoarder and you get it back. But I like the way it's going. Obviously, off season I can empower anything I want, because now it's ridiculous. I mean, I think I'm in the 30s and it's like 5 million gold or whatever, which is just nothing compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny in the non-season time there, that after the patch. I have 20 billion gold. And so, a 12 million empower on a 60? Yes, I'll take 2 of those, please.
That was like 300 million last season or something, so.
Yeah, it was
60 is 129 million.
Was or is? Was?
60 was 129 million.
Yeah,
and
75 was
like
540 million.
12.8 million or something.
Yeah, that sounds almost free.
But yeah, so my gold's going up and down. I think dying really put a big hit on a lot of my stuff, but I'm back, and it's actually a good time to die when you really don't have anything that's that great. I think my gems were kind of a hit because I think they were at 48, so, but they're already back to 25, so it won't take too long.
As long as you don't lose augmented gear, it's not too painful.
Yeah, I was a long way off from that. But
you guys have a minimum limit for augment? Will you augment to 50 just to get something going, or do you wait till 70?
I wait till
last season it was 75.
Wow, I do 65s. I just use 65 level gems.
I did a 65 on the first season, and it was sitting in my gear the whole year, just making me mad, because the rest of it was 70 to 75. So I think I will probably do a 70, but I like to do 70 to 75. And
so you had 50 less main stat, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, I did not like it. I thought, why didn't I just wait? It was so fast. Why didn't I just wait?
50 less out of what, 12,000?
Yeah.
But you knew it was there.
It just didn't look right. It seemed a little bit cheap.
OCD tingling.
It was. So I will probably go with 70s this season, since it's going to be a little bit harder, probably, but we'll see how it shapes up. I think I can probably, even if I died, I didn't have all the gear that I wanted, and this build is actually a lot safer than last season was, so I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with it, and so it'll be, I'll probably wait until I get 70s.
Did you play a wizard last season as well?
I did. I started with the monk, started with a barb, and I then I switched to a wizard and kind of kept my barb and wizard going, and got the barb into I think 76 greater rift for his max, and got tired of fishing because it became one of those things where I was barely able to I was barely missing the next level, and then every once in a while you get a great one and it would be like, okay, you're done in 10 minutes. So, and then some was just not even close. There wasn't even a chance to finish it. So I get tired of that. Once that happens, I start to lose interest.
Are you ironically amused by fishing for GRs when your online avatar is Captain Goldfish?
Yeah, I guess.
Because I sure am.
Yeah.
Are you amused by that, Aahz? Say yes.
It is amusing.
Awesome, great. Thanks for chiming in. You're not the best play-by-play man in the major leagues for nothing, Aahz.
I'm not sure if it's ironic that, taking into account being a fish would really not like fishing. So it seems actually very appropriate.
But fish only eat other fish, so in theory they are fishing.
Do you accept?
I don't think they call it that when they're talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're correct on that point. Did you have a relevant comment to make there, Aahz?
No, I did
like
not.
my own? No? Do you have a relevant comment to make?
No, not really.
Why start now, right? But
yeah, the one thing that came up for me this season start is I had a couple people popping in and out of games, and I completely messed up. I guess you call it a power level. I just recently hit 70. I was kind of struggling through Torment 1, and clanmate joined back, and he was 47. I'm like, I don't know what to do here, because usually you're just used to saying, okay, T6, and then you blow through, and the guy just waits at the rift. But I wasn't ready for that, and so I had him. I turned down the game to normal. He came in my 70, and it was about within 5 minutes he was dead.
Was he playing with you or what?
No, well, I told him, hang back. 70s are pretty dangerous, and he didn't really hang back far enough. And so he ripped. But I guess if you're going to rip, it's early in the season, so it's not such a big deal. He got a power level from Bullvine shortly thereafter. But the other funny part was I was staring at the RIP message, and it said, 38 hours? How could he have 38 hours on a level 47 character? Before it occurred to me that, he must have done a rebirth. I'm slow.
Yeah, somebody last night, I don't know the same person, but there was someone who ripped at some point, and they were like, they had more hours played than levels. I'm like, WTF?
It could have been one.
Rebirth. Rebirth for software. I guess software can do rebirths also, right? So they can just do it in the regular.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they care?
Well, you care because you have all those hours. You want to keep putting the hours on the same character.
And you have an awesome name for your character, like S6/DH. Or is it only me that names him that? Yeah, I didn't rebirth because I was playing a new character. So I played a monk this season so far. So I hadn't played anything but a demon hunter in 2 years. I mean, forever. But because UE is bullshit and you're a bad person if you like it, I'm like, I gotta play something else. I played a DH all last season, and the one before, and the one before, and the one before. And
I almost played a DH this season.
Okay, you're off the podcast.
Well,
I will play a DH at some point. I was really getting in the urge to play Natalia's set sort of last season. I didn't start last season until like 2 weeks before it ended, so I barely played at all. But I did get my extra stash tab, which I have no need for because I only play one class. Except now that I play two.
Doubled
You're impressed,
it.
right?
You doubled it.
Well,
I
put together a UE Demon Hunter last season just to see what it would be like to get the UE set, and I just couldn't. It just didn't seem engaging to me. I after playing Wizard, it seemed like I was so much more hands-on. The UE just felt like you weren't in the action, and I didn't find the gameplay compelling, so I decided not to play a DH.
So you mean, aside from not having to aim and not having to do any resource management and not having to use more than one skill, you thought it was kind of boring?
Yeah, and when you play a wizard, and this has been this way for a long time, you look at the DH and it's just like, why do they get to just stand there and get all the buffed? They don't have to do anything to actually achieve the buff on some of these things. Like Marauders, it's like you just put those things out. Whereas a wizard at the time, Tal Rush, okay, use 4 different skills within a couple seconds of each other, get your buff, but then it goes away as soon as you get it, and you just repeat that again. Yeah, and it was just ridiculous the amount of stuff you had to go through. But I realized that doing stuff is actually fun for a game, and just pointing and clicking is less fun for me.
Yeah, Marauders doesn't come with you throughout the entire level, though. That is the one drawback. You have to it's a lot of placement.
Yeah, I think when back then it was the previous version of Marauders where you just placed it and they would shoot before it shot with. They would just automatically shoot. Isn't that the way it used to be?
No, but it was.
No?
But you get you get a huge buff to your own damage based on the number of sentries, but you have to have sentries where you are, and a lot of your damage is coming from Call of the Week, so you need a sentry on top of what you're shooting at.
Oh.
So at least it's not exactly complicated to play, but they to be with you, and there is some kind of a scale up pace.
I think
you get to a new level.
I like the Marauders version better than the UE set, because the UE set just felt like you're shooting from things were just and I admittedly I wasn't pushing. But, in T10, it's like you're shooting and things were just gone before you reached where you thought they were. It was just crazy.
Yeah, I've bitched about. I think I had multi-shot as my number one worst Demon Hunter skill on our last podcast about this, so I will not belabor the whole point again. But UE is just. I'm fine with there being like a training wheel set where you don't need any real skill to use it, and it's sort of like the entry level set for Demon Hunter, but it shouldn't be the most powerful set. That just seems stupid to me. Where there's no skill, there's no resource management, almost none, and you just sit at this corner of the screen and click anywhere, and everything you shoot at dies, and it always gets hit. UE is like if you don't have the pinpoint aiming or reflexes to play Natalia's, or the strategy or placement to play Marauders, or the Shadows. Okay, there's no reason to play the Shadow set. I guess I can't make all three examples. But, the other ones at least that require a little bit of skill and placing things and knowing what you're doing. And UE is just like, stand in the corner, you can vault every time you want, you have infinite resource, and everything dies, and you have massive damage, and it works on bosses and trash mobs and everything in between. Other than that, though, I'm pretty fond of it.
It was pretty quick to catch on. It is kind of a training wheel type set. It's not like when I spent... the last 2 seasons away from Wiz, and when I came back to play the Firebirds, I was like, oh my god, this is clunky and crazy, and I'm about to die all the time. Eventually get the hang of it, but the UE it was a basic set. It was pretty quick to figure that one out.
It does require a fair amount of gear, but it's not even really that sped on build. You kind of have almost like a free skill slot, and obviously it's the Hadrig's gift set this season. So obviously Demon Hunters are just flying through that, and people who are playing lots and lots of hours got it quickly. And as soon as you get it, you're basically like it's almost the best farming build because you have almost unlimited discipline. So you can just vault, and it does massive damage, and there's no wind up time with it, and it's really powerful and very useful. Have you noticed looking at your clan roster or your friends list, Aahz, you've seen lots of Demon Hunters this season?
I haven't really noticed an increase in those. But I don't know. I haven't been paying attention that much. Let me think.
Thanks for backing up my point there, man. That's why you're number one.
I know there's at least one other Witch Doctor. And who else is out there playing? I don't know. If only there were a way to pull the clan roster.
It doesn't have any party benefits, but except that you can kill everything for everybody else. But other than that.
Well, actually, I played with a couple of Demon Hunters today, and they kind of... They clear everything really fast, but they screw up my gameplay because I use whites to hit for cooldown reduction with the Obsidian Ring, and I also use them for protection. So sometimes they just blast all my the whites away, and just kind of makes for a more clunkier style. But it's hard to complain when things are just gone. But yeah, they are fast. But the Wizard is also fast, so I haven't noticed that them being any faster than I am.
Yeah, this is the internet, Captain Goldfish. Hard to complain never stops us yet.
Okay, I'll start.
We always find a way.
I haven't played with the UE.
So anyway, I played a little bit. Go ahead, Aahz.
I was going to say I haven't played with the UE DH even really in the last 2 seasons. At least not much. So
even in public games.
Let me think. I'm sure they've played. Yeah, I did play some in public actually, but it's hard to tell. I mean, that's T10. Everybody's killing everything so quickly at that point.
And now we have T13.
Now we have T13, so that'll seem better. Now in the non-seasons, I played the Marauders for a while to level up some gems, and that still seemed pretty strong. But I don't have a full UE set sitting around.
I feel like, I don't know, but it seems like T13 is going to be UE is going to be pretty good in T13. That seemed to be a sweet spot for him, at least with my friends last year, that they were able to just ransack Greater Rift 60s, which is that about like that.
65.
Is it 65? I thought it was 60.
No, it's 60.
It's 5 per GR, right?
Yeah, and 10 is 45.
Oh, yeah, it's only 45. Yeah, that's easy. 45 is nothing. You can do 60. That's easy. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit of Monk. I just got to 70 thanks to leeching off Aahz some. I was actually playing Monk mostly solo initially because I only had a couple hours to play the first night, and I hadn't played a Monk in like 2 years. I'm like, I don't even know if this character works anymore. I played a bunch of Monk back in D3 Vanilla. But it was kind of fun, I was playing different, basically every time I leveled up, I'd change skills just to get some different stuff. Like everybody, if you play a class a lot, you obviously know exactly what their skills do and what they're good for and how they've changed. And when I level up with DH, I have a pretty set, routine. I know what skills work, and based on the gear, I know what numbers I should be getting. So it's very easy. But the Monk I hadn't played in forever, so I was trying all these janky skills, like lashing tail kick is useful for a while, and I tried all the different auras initially. Why am I even bothering with auras? They don't give you much of a buff when you're such crappy gear on the whole. But it was kind of fun. I got to about 62. I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. I'm ready for 70 now. And then I leeched off Aahz for a little bit and got to 70. And I really haven't played any since. I did finish page 2, but I wanted to discuss a little bit the whole season journey thing. You guys have both mentioned it before. It's kind of weird that the whole goal now, of course, you both said you got 4 pieces and then gambled the last 2, which makes it sound like chapter 4 is kind of a pain in the ass to finish. Was that the problem, or you just that was when you had your blood shards and you said boom?
Yeah,
I don't think chapter 4 is really. Sorry, I was just going to say, I didn't think chapter 4 was that tricky or anything. It takes a little while to wind up to it, but I was getting enough shards from the other things that I was doing that I was able to get lucky and get the other 2 pieces. And I actually didn't even need the other 2 because I found that Ring of Royal Grandeur, so I had it a little bit earlier. But the next time around, pants were the only thing that I had that was still yellow, and I got the Helltooth right off. But the chapter 4 is what, the Arene, and that's one I don't think I have. It actually took me forever to get a weapon slot. It probably took me 15 rolls from the Mystic to finally get a slot socket in the weapon. That's one of the ones on Season 4 as well.
Well, yeah, as soon as I got the 4-piece set, I had only a small amount of things to gamble, so I decided I'm going to gamble pants because pants have the best chance of, at least on a wizard, of getting a set piece, and because there's fewer other rare or legendary items for pants, and I got that in 2 gambles. I got my Telrash's pants, and I decided, well, I'm going to get the chest and 4 more gambles of chest, and I got the Telrash's chest. So then I basically, with my group, we just ran through the chapter 4 really pretty easily at that point. The only thing that was left for them was to do the 20 solo, and that was not hard at all for anybody.
That's not exactly a challenge.
No. It's more of
once
just
you have the 4-piece, you can just do a laugh through a GR20.
Yeah. It's more, it's like, okay, everybody's got to go their own game now and do that. So, yeah, I do like the season journey. It gives me something to, I like having goals to look for. Even though getting the stash space is great, the portrait frame is, I'll take them. But I just like having little things to progress through. I think it's a nice touch.
But it is odd now that our whole goal is to get the 3rd Hadrig's gift, unless you guys got the lucky gambling thing. But I mean, I've only done chapter 2 with my monk at this point. I haven't played any since you turboed me last night, basically, Aahz. I had to work all day But looking at Chapter 3, which I still haven't finished, Master Rift, it's like, that's not real tough. Buy item from Kadala, that's not too challenging. You got to do Belial and Magda on Master, that's just ridiculous. But at a full bounty run, we were kind of wondering about that in advance. Did you guys do your all 5 acts of bounties on the way up, or did you get to when you get to 70? Did you just like power level those in a multiplayer game, or what?
We did some on the way up.
And it worked right when you got your 5th one. It gave it to you.
As far as I know, because that got checked off. I think I don't remember seeing it on my list of things that I was missing.
Well, my friend unfortunately joined a public game where one act was already done, and he did the rest of them and didn't get it, and then realized that you had to have them all in the same game, and they had to be all 5.
So that's the way it works? That's kind of a pain.
Yeah, because I
did all 5 on the way to 70. I have mats from all 5 acts sitting in my stash. I'm like, why don't I have this achievement already?
Was full bounty run, is that for Chapter 3 or Chapter 4?
3.
3. Okay. Which one? Because there was one, I think you had to do 5 bounties, or I thought that was for the Chapter 4 season. No,
not this season.
Huh.
Chapter 4 is a T1 Rift, GR20 solo. You got to do the Yorick and Aranea on T2. Upgrade weapon to legendary, enchant socket, and then you've got to do all 4 T-Wardens on T4. So that's the third Hadrig's gift.
I think what we did was, as a group, we did one run at hard. I thought you only had to do. I think I must have done a group on public in a T1 for my bounties. Because I
don't think there's any difficulty requirement. I guess you just do all 5, 20 bounties.
I just did
25
T1,
bounties.
I just did T1 so I would get more rewards from it. Because I think I might have done it in hard the first time, and then you realize how measly the
3 whole mats.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, and you get no legendaries either, practically. I don't think I got one. So I decided.
Do you guys remember like 5 seasons ago, like you had to rush to get into T2 where you could finally start to farm some of the good gear?
Yeah.
Because initially it was T1 forever ago to get the class sets, and they made it T2, and it was like we were all pushing to get to T2, and you'd be like Paragon 200 and still stuck on like four pieces of your set, and I found 7 shoulders. And now it's like easy. Now we have Hadrigs, we have the cube, you can switch your set pieces around when you find them. And we have gifts, and we have all kinds of stuff.
I didn't mind this season as much as I thought it was pretty nice to be able to just do the 3 different tasks and get your whole set. I didn't mind the having to do more stuff because I did it in a group and we just did it one after another, and I find that anything done in a group is way more fun. That's why doing the 20 solo is kind of annoying, but I like the rest of it, that we can just finish it all up as a group. And once I got my 6-piece, I really helped our group just go straight for it. We went straight to T4 and did everything there, I think.
I like that fully equip a follower is Chapter 2, but of course you can do that in town without actually hiring them.
Yeah, I did that.
You don't need to go to a solo game to hire a follower just to put him in clothes,
As soon as I got an amulet, and I found like a yellow follower token, I was like, oh, we'll go over there, and I put all my stuff on him, and then took it back, but got my reward out of the way.
You didn't let him keep it? You just put it on him and took it off again?
No.
It's kind of insulting.
Get to keep it. Yeah. Well, he probably wouldn't have been too proud of his level 18 ring when he was 70, so because he didn't see any action for a while.
I didn't find a Templar token, so when I got to 70, that's what I crafted. That was my level 70 craft, so I got a 2-for-1 there.
A Templar necklace.
Templar relic, yeah.
Where does he wear those, by the way?
I think he just puts it in his front pocket. It's like a front pocket billfold type thing.
So where does Irina wear hers? She's in a bikini. She has no pockets.
It's a focus, right? That's what they call it, as a focus.
Did she like tuck it into her like her hair bun or what?
Yeah, maybe like on her forehead or something. It helps her focus her concentration or something.
Yeah, I've always felt that was true for myself as well.
I wish I could I wish they could put armor on them and stuff, and they would change.
Well, that was going to be the expansion. You know how that turned out. So.
Was it really?
Oh, it should have been. That was Diablo 2. So.
Yeah, I remember that you could put something on them that would change. You know, you could see them. Well, I guess they can. The shields they had. You do see that, don't you, on these? Yeah, I don't even pay attention to them anymore, I think.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, yeah.
How come we don't have, I guess it's not in the engine, but obviously we have a million little transmogs and new cosmetic options. How come there aren't cosmetic options for followers yet? Like turn them into like a giant ball of flame, or actually they just all look like fucking Murlocs, knowing this is Blizzard.
You get to
hey,
do
a
that.
new Murloc transmog for your follower. Only 7 of those already exist.
Yeah, it's on the Fallen Pennant. When you get the Fallen Pennant, you can do that for your follower.
You can make him like a Murloc?
The transmog. You get the transmog.
Transmurloc?
Sorry, Fallen Pennant was the one they said that you could find, but you actually could not find.
So that'll be findable now that they fixed the bugs.
I assume so.
Now. Yeah,
Did you already find it?
Grind like you have to grind like the Forbidden Desert for like 17 hours or what?
No, I didn't even look for it this time, which is surprising because I looked for all sorts of stuff last time. At the end of I think once they hit, I think last season once the patch came out is when I looked for all the new goodies, but I couldn't be bothered to find this pennant wherever it is.
I was looking at the clan roster last night. There were like 40 people online in our clan for a change. Everybody's got like some stupid ass pet, like a walking chest and like little succubi and like little miniature cows and shit. This is what last season wrought, huh?
Yeah, the Menager's goblins. That's where you find those.
Yeah, I never actually found one last season. I didn't play for very long. I got to like Paragon 350 or something, but I never did find a Menagerus. I never had any of those weird shit. I just had like the Wicker Man or something. But of course, pets are now mandatory because they pick up gold for you. So everybody has to have a pet all at all times, unless you're a Marauder's Demon Hunter, in which case it kind of doesn't matter. But of course, is there even a Marauder's Demon Hunter in the top 1,000 this year? I would say probably no at this point. Not when UE's the Hadri's gift set and wildly overpowered. So
what made you play Monk? Are you
because UE is bullshit. How do I make this clear by now?
Yes, but your only other option is Monk then? Is that are you interested in the lashing tail kick build of this season? I wouldn't think you'd be excited about the dashing.
Nobody is interested in the lashing tail kick build this season. Be serious. I haven't played a Monk in forever, and I was kind of curious playing something different. I thought at least I'll have like rings and amulets I can pass over at this point. At least I'll have like dex gear,
Yeah.
And I played a Monk forever in the old days. I don't know. I didn't really give it that much thought. I vaguely considered playing a Witch Doctor, but I haven't played one of those since like Season 1, like Aahz. So I'm like, am I going to start now? Which is which? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't give it much thought. I wasn't even sure I'd be able to play any Friday night. There was an event I was supposed to be pouring wine at, but like it got canceled at the last minute. From at least my participation in it became optional. So I'm like, okay, I could actually go home and play the season, even though I didn't get home till like 7 and started playing. But I don't know. I literally haven't had a day off in 3.5 weeks, and I'm not going to get one for another 2 weeks at this rate. So my playing is very occasional. I haven't played a Monk in forever. It'd be kind of fun. I'm not going to get that many hours. Let's just do it and see what happens. It's been kind of fun so far.
Sounds like somebody needs to bot.
What do you mean? What do you mean needs to? I'm actually Paragon 650 right now, but it's secret that way.
It was pretty embarrassing when you joined my game. I was barely T1 viable, and you were kind of hanging out at the beginning of the Rift. And I get a Goblin pack. It's like, oh,
you
great.
A couple of them, though.
Yeah.
I was like around playing.
Not 2 packs, 2 Goblins.
It was only T1. I was like pounding on them. I couldn't kill them, but I could like distract them, make them angry and stuff. I would just go around picking up all the shit they were dropping. I'm like, oh, this is good enough. Profit.
I got a Goblin pack in my first T6 run, and it was a nice little collection.
Yeah,
have either of you guys ever noticed a Goblin Shrine before you click it yet? You actually read the fine print?
Nope.
I never read it. I was like, why are there goblins appearing? Oh, cool. It was one of those shrines. I got one of those like level like 40 this year. I'm like, what am I doing with this?
Wow.
I've only ever gotten them, and I always get them in a public game or something, and then people get all very upset. And it's just like I don't look to see what it was,
I don't.
and I haven't seen. Do regular shrines have icons above them too?
There's no map icon on those.
Okay, so I'm not going to see them in the future. It's going to be the same
No,
thing.
I usually have that split second of recognition, but it's only after I click it. It's like I've clicked it, and in that little inner, like, wait a minute, I think that was a bandit shrine. And so it's too late for it to do any good. There's just goblins everywhere already.
I don't know how
Publics, people yelling at you.
I don't know how anybody gets upset as if goblins are some sort of thing that is going to drop something you'll never see again. They're just not that amazing. They're nice to have in the game, but they're not like drop everything. If somebody hits you'll be in a public bounty, and somebody be like, "Hey, there's a goblin here." I'm like, I don't care. Just go ahead and do it. I will find. I don't, because I'll just kill it. I was just like, it's already gone.
I call out blues if I notice them before I.
Oh
attack.
yeah, that's true. But usually I hit that. I'm usually skipping through so fast that I've already nicked it and it's already dead. So.
Yeah, that's the only one. And then if I happen to see that it's a menagerist, I'll call that one out. But again, usually you're already engaged by the time you notice it.
Yeah, isn't there something supposed to be different about the icons of the menagerist goblin at least?
Could be, and maybe that'll be another thing where in T13 we'll actually notice it before we already have annihilated the goblin.
That's what I'm looking. I'm looking forward to slowing down, if we can.
Unlikely. What are the conquests this season? I haven't even looked. I mean, the easy one's gone, right? We're not getting Avarice this time.
Complete the game in an hour is one, because Leviathan and Nineball got that like number 5. So that's what complete the game in an hour. Speed Racer.
Oh, the whole campaign? You guys did that?
No, already? I didn't do it. I just saw it appear on my...
People who played 28, who played 18 hours a day the first 3 days have done it.
I was going to say, that's pretty impressive. You did that. So you've got the 50 million gold streak, but... Which is hard
now that they've nerfed, the gold goblins, golden barons.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be kind of a tough one. What else do we have? 45 without set items.
Yeah. I like that one. I'm glad that's back. That's one of my favorite ones to do. Try to pick the pieces and figure out how they fit together.
3 gems to 65, which is pretty basic.
It's just get that eventually, whether like it or not,
Yeah.
Considering that you're augmenting.
I think one of the Guardian requirements is get 3 to rank 70, so there's your automatic Conquest and Guardian task to do. There's also reach 75 solo, and I think that's all. Yeah. So I'm sure I will do the gems, the 75 solo, and probably the 45 without sets. I'll probably actively do those. I don't think I'm going to bother with the campaign in an hour. That's just annoying. We tried that last season, and we realized how long it's been since we went through Act 1. We're like, what's next? We didn't even know. You kind of have to plan ahead on those things. I'm like, what? Now what? Oh, that's right. We have to go down to that stupid dock at the bottom of Act 1, and it's just like, it was a pain.
Yeah, I've heard that you have one guy staying in town the whole time and just click on Advanced Quest.
We did, but that didn't help if we didn't know where we were supposed to go be on the way to next. So it was a mess. Because I think you had to there was like goals. It's like you had to be done with Act 1 in 17 minutes or something, and we were just not doing well. So
you had 4 acts to go, so you were pretty much fucked all the way through.
Yeah, and I had to leave anyway. It was like, well, we can't all be guaranteed to be here for an hour.
Only if you want to finish the conquest. Other than that, you can pretty much do what you want.
Yeah, well, we did a trial run.
A whole hour? God, what a challenge.
That's a commitment right there.
For an hour at a time.
Well, unfortunately, with
You could be like doing selfies and Instagram in that time. What would you want to waste of playing a video game?
Yeah. Well, we all play for long times, but they don't always overlap. So getting everybody together for everybody's got to do something somewhere. So unfortunately,
no Conquest for you.
Yeah, so I'm not going to try that one. So 3 of them are pretty easy. And the gold streak, that probably is if you really want to try for it. But I wouldn't mind getting close because that's 50 million. No, 50 million gold. That's not that much, really, is it?
Well, without Build-A-Bear dropping you 47 million at a time, it may be a little tougher.
Yeah, I got it pretty much. Last year I got it, or last season I got it. You hit one. But I was also in my gold finding junk, so.
In theory, you need to put on a lot of gold finding stuff and do Fields of Misery or something, or what's the Stupid Act 1 with the keyboard and is?
Yeah, Fields of Misery.
Yeah. There's also there's an Act 5 one, I think, where
Adria, where Adria is Ruins of Corvus, maybe.
Apparently that's a really good one to do, but I don't even want to do that.
Yeah, Corvus is weird because all the scarabs come out, but it's really easy to get a lull of 5 seconds when you get no scarabs at some point, and there goes your gold streak.
Yeah, it is. It's tough to get the next.
I wonder how T13 is going to play into that. If it's going to make it a little bit easier, what the gold drop rate is there. It might be a little more forgiving.
Yeah, but if it's taking you 10 seconds to kill a boss pack, then you might be screwed. You got to kill something every 2 seconds. So.
At least for my wizard, I think the more problem was making sure. Yeah, I think it doesn't take that long to kill. It was pretty quick. It was mostly a speed run when I was doing it off season, fully geared. So I imagine that one might come. I think you'd still have to plan. You'd want to have your Boon of the Horror leveled up and your gold pickup radius or just everything set up.
I think you don't want gold pickup radius though, right? Because you can't get all the gold in a big bunch. You got to get a little bit of gold every half second forever.
Yeah, I guess
if you get the whole screen at once, then it's you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of hard with a Marauders build because whenever you do your pet buff, your weasels pick up every single piece of gold visible at once, and then that could be a problem because you need to get another second gold every second forever, and if it's something to get everything on the entire visible screen, it's I'm in trouble.
Yeah, that's another strategy that I've heard is to kill everything and don't pick it up, and then go back and just pick up the gold.
Yeah, you got to send your pet away before you start that, obviously.
Yeah, my Crusader would have been good at that last year because he had 0 pickup radius, which was a pain in the butt. I had all the right items, and I think I even rolled off a fairly good stat just to put pickup radius on my boots because it was just you don't realize it when you're going through a rift how long it takes you to try to grab a gold when you got that horse. You're going around with the horse really fast. And you're just running around the globe trying to pick it up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, once in a singles bar, I also had 0 pickup radius, but that was a pain.
Just once?
No problem, though.
Congrats.
That was the only time I was in a singles bar, so there you go. So, what are your guys' long-term plans for the season? Are you aiming for like P1000 or GR100 or just playing for fun?
I'd probably...
Go ahead.
I'd say 800, maybe. I almost got to 800 last season, and
you're at 720 so far.
110. Not very far. But
you can get that in 2 games on T10.
I found that as I was approaching 700, I had most of my gear, not all my gear, augmented. So that seems like a pretty good target between 700 and 800. So that you have all your slots augmented and ready to do the 75. Maybe that's just me.
It's just you, Aahz. Everyone else got it in this first weekend.
I think this season will be fairly easy to hit 1,000 for me. The past 2 seasons I've been in the 940, 960 range, maybe a little bit higher. But it starts to get towards the end when my there's a lot less of my friends on, and my motivation goes down a bit. And I think this year, considering we'll have T13, which is going to give us a lot more experience, it will be a lot easier to level when you don't have to do the T10 where you stop really gaining much experience. So I'm thinking Paragon 1000, and I'd like to do an 80, maybe.
Solo or party?
Solo.
Okay, then it actually counts. Unless you're playing UE, in which case it doesn't count. But something.
Yeah, I'd
75
like to do an 80.
and stash tab. Gotta get that stash tab. That's really the only important part.
I think you only have to do you don't have to do a 75 for a stash tab.
No. I don't know what it is.
You need 2 conquests, though, right?
Yeah, you have to do 2, but like Goldfish said, if it's gems and a solo 75, I'll probably get that normally. Plus the 45 is something I'm interested in anyway.
Something I'm interested in.
Something
it appeals to your interest.
Yeah, I like the matching up the legendary properties and figuring out how they're gonna go with the skills. Now I have no idea for a Witch Doctor. It might just be as simple as, yeah, it's the same build, just don't use Helltooth and don't use Wall of Death. I don't know.
What's weird, the 45 without set items, I did it on the last time this was out. I was a Crusader, and so I thought I got all these great ancient items for the shield tossing one, whatever that.
Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, you know what? That looks really cool. The thing's going to go bouncing everywhere. And I got run out of the 45. It almost killed me. And I wasn't killing anything. And then I just tried to do a Thorns build without any of Thorns gear and just completely destroyed the Rift. It was so easy. So it's weird how some things just don't work without the set bonuses, or they're just not good on their own. I'm sure maybe a better Crusader could have done it, but I had the right gear, and I looked up the builds, like how to do it, because I'd never played him before. But it didn't kill anything. I was really shocked.
For Demon Hunter, I basically did the UE set without UE, Cinder Coat and Yang's Recurve.
Yeah, those 45s are all about the gear that buffs your damage. Cinder, like you're saying, Cinder Coat, Frost Burns, that kind of crap.
Yeah. I'll probably try that with the Wizard. It might be fun.
Probably not, no. But maybe.
It'll be more fun than Speed Racer, I'll tell you that.
So have you guys noticed anything's more fun than that. Have you guys noticed that patch changes? I mean, there are a few quality of life. We mentioned the shrine icons. Now I should say the pylon icons, which
Pylon.
I'm just like, I hadn't even read that was happening. I'm like, what the hell is that little icon thing? I'm like, oh, it's a sword, it's a plus sign, it's an arrow. I don't find that to be especially necessary or useful.
Yeah, I like it for. It is kind of nice to be able to see what it was that I clicked on. Sometimes I don't read it, or sometimes somebody else will click on one, and I know that we got a shrine, but I don't know what it is. And looking at the 8 little icons on my bar, sometimes I can't tell which one was hit. It is kind of easy to spot, but I wouldn't say it's going to be much of a issue. It'd be nicer if they showed up a little bit further away from them, so you wouldn't go through a rift, and instead of having to go on every dead end on maps where there are multiple choices. I was in a rift today where I went past a rift from one door to the other, and there wasn't any monsters, and you basically had to go past everything and then come back the same way to get out. So it's either choose to go all the way down there and then have to come back, and maybe there's no shrine down there or no elites down somewhere. It'd be nice to see that if there was a shrine somewhere that you got a little bit more of a notice for it.
Pylon.
Oh, Pylon. Yeah, whatever they are. I don't know how many times I've battled with like 3 or 4 elites, had a huge group, and then like the next screen over there's a power pylon or conduit, It's like, and then you click it, and you have to go back through all this dead space. So it'd be nice if they were a little bit less crappily placed.
Well, that's not kind of the whole point of the randomness of it, though.
Yeah, there's
If you want them waiting next to the start of every entrance, just do cow rifts, where there's always like that pool of radiance, the yellow water, like waiting for you.
Yeah.
Like, here you go. I got a cow rift at about level 50 this year. Season, kind of weird. Lord of Bells, etc. I'm like, okay, that's out of the way.
Love getting those when you're power leveling someone.
Yeah, I didn't like one level out of it because I was in like 53 or something like that, so it wasn't a big difference. But yeah, early on that can be amazing. Or if you're a power leveling. Have you guys noticed the biggest quality of life change I've seen is if you happen to click like the armor or the weapon rack next to the blacksmith instead of clicking on him or the anvil. Previously, it would load the entire rack of every armor you could make, which was like Lag City for me usually.
Oh yeah, I like.
Now the menus are all compressed; they're all just plus signs, so it loads instantly. I thought that was kind of handy.
Because I was trying to make. I think I was going to make an axe, a rare axe. I was going to craft one so I could upgrade it, and it's nice to be able to just there they are. I pick it up and do it. So that's a good change.
You don't have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll anymore.
Well, a lot of times I'd have to collapse them because I just couldn't take it. Like, I have to collapse all these as I scroll down.
They'll be open again next time. Next time they'll be open again next game.
Exactly. So. The default was wide open, so it didn't do any good.
I haven't even tried the hiding of the interface yet. Didn't they add something about that? I haven't even looked to see what that's all about.
I haven't tried that either, but I don't take any screenshots or stream. That's probably a big deal for people who do that, though. It's a nice feature, I'm sure, for them.
Do we care about those people?
Sure. Hey,
I don't care about those people.
Blizzard certainly does.
Blizzard does everything for streamers. That's all they care about anymore. For about 2 years now, it's like websites. What are websites? Hey, you streamed our game. Hey, here's everything in the world you might ever possibly want.
Now, if it would hide
or anything, though.
If it would hide clicking on the chat text when you're trying to play, that would be something I would be interested in.
No, that can never go away.
Because
that's a feature.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would want to hover over there and click on that when you can just push enter and do the same thing. So
is there still no way to make the button for Paragon levels not appear every other second when you're leveling up so fast? Can this? I've been on this for like 7 seasons now.
I almost died in the 5th last season because of that, clicking on the Paragon button when I was trying to leap. It's really bad.
Just the plus button doesn't appear unless you're in town. Is that so much? Is it so fucking hard? How about that? Would that bother anybody if they changed that?
Yeah, or doesn't appear in a Greater Rift at least. It's dangerous.
Well, I was I was doing something. I think it was in a Greater Rift, or it might have been. I don't know what happened, but it was a pretty sticky situation, and I got something. I got some sort of achievement that was not just a regular achievement. It was like a whole load of stuff, and it was icons right in the middle of the screen, kept coming up one after the other, and it was really interfering with trying to play the game. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, people didn't used to notice when they got achievements, so now you have to notice.
Yeah.
Enjoyment is mandatory.
Unfortunately, I don't know what it was because I was trying not to get killed.
But you saw it in big splashy colors, though, man.
I did. It was amazing. Well, one of them was I got a new portrait available.
Very exciting.
Everything's better in big splashy colors.
It was exciting. Yeah, I got a new portrait, and then I got more and more stuff.
And then you died, but it was still pretty cool, though, right?
It was really exciting.
When you die, it has flashy colors also.
I went right in there and changed my portrait. Yep.
So, any final thoughts, guys? Are you happy with the season? Do you wish there were more changes? Are you disappointed? Obviously, not a lot of patch changes here. There's a few new gear and a few new builds, but they're all kind of bullshit, except for the wizard, because the wizard previously was bullshit.
Yeah,
it hasn't ruined your wizard, right, Goldfish? The previous build sucked, but at least you're something sort of the same.
Ponderous to use. I like what I'm doing right now. I wanted to play with a virus set, but they just completely ruined that. That's ruined right now. But I can manage. But the way it's not ruined is you can mix it with the other sets and get the bonus that you should be getting with the virus set alone. So I'm really happy with how my wizard is going. I like the play style. I like it even more than last year, even though it's a bit weaker in some ways. In other ways, it's a little bit tankier and just a little bit more fun to play, a little bit more involved even. So I really didn't like what they did, and I still don't like that basically all the damage is still tied up with Archon with 2 items there. So it's not in a, I would say the wizard has a lot of options, but it's not they're not doing a good job with the options, especially since I lost my Halo ring, and you have to have that to get damage reduction for the end game. That should just be baked into. That should be like given in your cube, just like they would give a Dawn to a DH, since you know they're going to get it anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with it, but they're doing a lot of things. It feels like they're really not fixing things right with the wizard.
I like how you say they, as though there's more than one person working on Diablo 3 at this point.
The guy. Well, it was the people that did it
There
before.
you go again.
Yeah.
He.
The guy. Yeah.
You can't spell they without he.
Okay. Well, I don't know what entity is doing it, but they're doing it wrong. But at the same time, I'm happy with the play style that I've come up with. I just think that
after 2 whole days of playstyle, you're happy with it.
Well, I tested a lot on the PTR, and it was basically there's only a few, like I said, all the damage is tied in with the Archon, and it's not even an Archon set. It's the 2 items that give you Archon stacks and then let you carry them over after you're out of Archon. That just bust your damage to no. You just have to have those to get super damage. And so that's where...
I never liked Archon back when it was a thing, before it became a set thing, so I'm glad I don't play a wizard.
Yeah.
How is your witch doctoring going, Aahz? You haven't played one in 15 months, and now you are. Is it all right?
Yeah, and I like the change to Hadrig's Gift this season. It seemed like it was too easy in the past, and it kind of short-circuited some of the progression that you felt at the beginning of the season. So having to do a few more things and actually complete the journeys, I think that's a good change.
So it now takes you 6 hours instead of 4 hours. That makes a difference?
It does. It's only, once every 3 months, so you might as well enjoy a little bit doing that gear. Like you said, back in the day when you would try to get to T1 or T2 and farm there for a while to find stuff, it feels a little bit closer to that, but not annoyingly so.
And as a married man, you're used to things that feel good when they happen once every 3 months, correct?
Yes, so I've been told.
Exactly. So, are you happy with the whole Witch Doctor playstyle? I mean, Wizard got massive tweaks. Do you even remember what you were playing with a Witch Doctor 15 months ago or whatever?
Jade Harvester.
Did you just read a guide or what? How do you know what you're doing?
Well,
just kind of figuring it out as you go.
Sort of, but I have the softcore Witch Doctor that I play if I'm traveling, and I don't want to get on my hardcore. So I've sort of kept up with it from that point. Yes, the softcore is like the PTR for hardcore.
You cheated like a filthy casual.
It's
I'm pretty sure off the podcast now. I'll check to be sure, but I'm pretty sure off the podcast.
It's better than losing augmented gear because the hotel wireless sucks. I'll take the shame.
there is no. Well, you're a married man, so you're used to that as well.
Indeed.
I don't even know what the 6-piece set for the monk does. It's something with Dashing Strike. I remember there used to be like a ping pong build for a while, but they changed it in some way because it was too annoying. I didn't even read it or research it. I just when I found the first two pieces from Hadrig's set, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, and that's what it does. But I kind of just like glanced at it, so I don't even remember. I honestly could not tell you what the 6-piece build is right this now. I think you get all 4 auras and then something else happens, but I couldn't tell you what.
It's still the Dashing Strike. You dash for huge amounts of damage. I think
But they changed it, right? So you don't just dash a million times in a row, like that was a bug or something, or it was too glitchy. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to be happy with it.
Well, I'm just doing this to find shards so I can play Natalia set eventually, I guess,
I think
right?
that
So what do I care?
the thing that changed about it is that people used it for the other bonuses, the attack speed to your primary and the damage increase. And so
You still get that. That's the 2-piece bonus, but
yeah,
that's all I've got so far.
Yeah, well then, because nobody wants the rest of it.
So you just use 2 pieces of that with something else.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why no one else is playing Monk this season. Okay, but now I understand. I haven't seen a single other Monk, by the way. I was looking in the clan roster. There are like 45 people online. I was the only Monk. I'm like, oh. Now I know.
There was a Monk in my group that we leveled together, so...
You probably clicked the wrong button to start with.
Yeah, well, it's fun that I love monks leveling up from.
So they put all the shit for you. So there you go.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a couple monks in my group this season, so we'll see how it goes. I always like the pet buff that you get with those. So the monks will make
I don't know what build I'm doing. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what my long-term goal is. I'm just playing a monk for the hell of it because I have no time to play anyway. So you guys are happy with the season so far? I mean, it's only been a weekend, but you sound like you both had pretty good progress.
Yeah, I'm feeling great about it, except that I'm stiff and I've got a sore neck.
Well, you're a Merd man, so that's another thing. You're used to those things.
Okay.
Rest up.
I was like, yeah, I get used to that. How about you, Aahz? You're happy with your witch doctoring so far?
Yeah, I haven't had as much time as I wanted to this weekend, but I am going to be working from home tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll get a few more riffs and griffs in. Try to build up a little bit.
Did you injure yourself with the air quotes you threw up around working right there? A little bit?
It's a doctor's appointment in the morning. I got to have him see my shoulder, see if my shoulder's been hurt from all the Diablo 3.
Well, you're playing a witch doctor, so you should have a natural affinity for doctor's appointments.
Exactly. Click, click, click.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I have a job interview tomorrow, so if I have my upgraded job, I may actually only be working 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week. That'd be kind of fun. But I'll play at some point, and you guys can quit. You've sacrificed an hour and 15 minutes of your potential riffing time to this podcast. I will now set you free. You can go forth, and I want to hear GR60s from both of you by the end of the night.
I'm going to bed.
I can give you a proper power level to your Demon Hunter if you need it.
And that will be in like 2 months if I'm lucky. So we'll see how that goes. But thanks for the offer there, yeah. Any last thoughts, Goldfish? You ready to roll? You're clicking on your dock. I can hear the game loading in the background.
Yeah, it can load all at once. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Another Merd man problem there. Loading all you want, going to bed. Okay, thanks for guys. You've been listening to the Diablo 3 podcast.
Beautiful.
Good luck with Season 7 and level up and stuff. And if you see Captain Goldfish in a game, you can help him out. And if you're playing an unlimited Unhallowed Essences set with a Demon Hunter, you're a bad person and you should feel bad about yourself.
Moo.
Moo. Moo.
Moo.